You woke up at 3 in the morning again, not because of a noise, not because of a bad dream. You woke up because your body was on fire, drenched in sweat, heart racing, sheets twisted around you, and for a few seconds, you didn't even know where you were. You just knew something was wrong. And then it passed, and you lay there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, wondering, why does this keep happening to me? If that sounds familiar, I need you to stay with me for the next few minutes, because what I'm about to share with you is not something most doctors take the time to explain, and it might be the most important thing you hear this year. My name is Dr. Eleanor Whitaker. I've spent over 2 decades working with women who come to me exhausted, frustrated, and often dismissed. Women who've been told their symptoms are just stress or just aging or just hormones, as if that explanation is supposed to be enough, as if you're supposed to go home, accept it, and keep suffering in silence. I'm here to tell you that is not good enough. And more importantly, it doesn't have to be your story. Hot flashes are not random. They are not just a part of getting older. They are a signal, a message your body is sending you loudly, repeatedly, urgently, because something inside has gone out of balance. And until we understand what that signal actually means, no amount of cold showers or fans pointed at your face is going to give you real, lasting relief. So let me ask you something, and I want you to really think about this. When was the last time you felt like yourself? Not tired yourself, not irritable yourself, not the version of you who snaps at small things and then feels guilty about it. When was the last time you woke up genuinely rested, moved through your day with energy, felt comfortable in your own skin? If you had to think about it for more than a few seconds, then what I'm about to explain is for you. Here is what's really happening. And I mean what's really happening, not the oversimplified version, not the "it's just menopause, what do you expect" version. The real version. Your body has been running on a sophisticated hormonal communication system your entire life. Estrogen, progesterone, cortisol, thyroid hormones, insulin. These aren't just chemicals floating around doing random things. They are messengers. They talk to each other. They talk to your brain. They talk to your fat cells, your muscles, your mood centers, your sleep cycles. When they're in balance, you feel like you, when they're not. And this is the part most women are never told. The effects go far beyond hot flashes, starting around your mid-30s and accelerating through perimenopause and menopause. Your body begins to produce less estrogen and progesterone. That's expected. That's part of the design. But here's what's not part of the design: the speed and severity of that shift in the modern world. Because we are living in conditions that your hormones were never built for. Chronic stress floods your body with cortisol, and cortisol directly interferes with progesterone production. Poor sleep disrupts the hormonal repair cycles that are supposed to happen while you rest. Processed foods, environmental toxins, and certain synthetic ingredients in everyday products act as what scientists call endocrine disruptors, meaning they can mimic or block your natural hormones, creating a kind of noise in a system that depends on clarity to function. The result: your body is trying to regulate temperature, manage energy, maintain mood, preserve sleep quality, all while the communication system it relies on is increasingly disrupted. And one of the clearest, loudest signals it sends when it can no longer compensate: hot flashes. A hot flash is not a malfunction. It is your body's alarm system going off. And the question we should be asking is not just, how do I make the alarm stop, but why is the alarm ringing in the first place? That question changes everything. Because when you understand that hot flashes are connected to a broader hormonal imbalance, one that also affects your weight, your sleep, your mood, your memory, your energy, then you stop looking for a quick fix and you start looking for something that actually addresses the root of what's happening. Now, I want to tell you about something I've observed in thousands of consultations over my career. And it's something that genuinely troubled me. when I first started recognizing the pattern. Most women who come to me suffering from hot flashes are also dealing with at least 3 or 4 other symptoms they've been managing separately, or worse, ignoring. Weight that won't budge no matter what they eat or how much they exercise. Brain fog that makes it hard to concentrate in the afternoon. A kind of low-grade irritability that wasn't there before. Sleep that feels light and fragmented. A libido that has quietly disappeared. Joints that ache in the morning. Hair that feels thinner. Skin that feels different. And almost universally, these women have told themselves the same thing. I'm getting older. This is just what happens. I need to push through it. I need you to hear this clearly. These are not separate problems with separate causes. They are different expressions of the same underlying imbalance. And the reason they're happening to you at the same time is not coincidence. It's communication. Your body is not falling apart. Your body is trying to tell you something over and over in every language it has available. So why do so many women spend years, sometimes decades, managing individual symptoms without ever addressing what's actually driving them? The answer is partly systemic. Our medical system tends to treat symptoms in isolation. You go to one doctor for the hot flashes, another for the thyroid, another for the weight. Nobody steps back and looks at the whole picture. Nobody asks, what if these are all connected? What if there's one underlying imbalance that, when supported, could shift all of these symptoms at once? That is exactly the question I've dedicated my career to answering. And here is where I have to stop and be honest with you about something. Because I think you deserve honesty more than you deserve a comfortable story. The symptoms you've been normalizing, the fatigue, the weight changes, the mood shifts, the hot flashes, they don't stay at the same level. Hormonal imbalance is progressive. It tends to get more pronounced over time, not less. And the longer the body goes without the support it's asking for, the harder it becomes to restore that balance. I've seen this in women who waited 5 years before taking their symptoms seriously. The conversation we have then is very different from the conversation I have with women who act early. Not because I want to frighten you, but because I want you to understand that the window of responsiveness matters. Your body, right now, is still sending you signals. It is still asking for help. That is actually a good sign. It means you are still in a place where thoughtful, natural support can make a real difference. Now, I want to talk about what that support actually looks like, because this is the part most of the internet gets wrong. There is a significant difference between masking a symptom and addressing its cause. Cold packs and ice water and standing in front of an open refrigerator door will cool you down for a minute, but they do not speak to what your hormones are trying to communicate. They do not restore balance. They do not reduce the frequency or intensity of hot flashes over time. They are the equivalent of putting tape over a warning light on your car dashboard. The light goes off. The problem remains. What actually helps, and what the research increasingly supports, is a different approach entirely. One that focuses on giving your body the specific nutritional and botanical support it needs to do what it's always been designed to do: regulate itself, restore balance, communicate clearly. There are compounds found in nature that have been studied for decades for their ability to support hormonal equilibrium. Phytoestrogens, plant-based compounds that interact gently with estrogen receptors. Adaptogenic herbs that help the body modulate its stress response and protect against cortisol-driven hormonal disruption. Specific vitamins and minerals that are essential for the synthesis and metabolism of sex hormones, and that most women are significantly deficient in by the time they reach perimenopause. When these elements are combined thoughtfully and in the right amounts, something remarkable can happen. Not overnight, not magically, but gradually, consistently, the frequency of hot flashes begins to decrease. Sleep deepens. Energy stabilizes. mood becomes more even, weight becomes more manageable, not because something is being forced or suppressed, but because the system is being given what it needs to function the way it was built to function. That is what real hormonal support looks like. And I want to tell you about a resource that I believe can be genuinely helpful for women who are at this point, women who recognize their symptoms, who understand that something deeper is going on, and who are ready to take a thoughtful, natural first step. There is a link in the description below this video and also pinned in the first comment. I want you to check it out. What you'll find there is information about a natural approach that has been helping thousands of women move through this transition with more ease, more energy, and far fewer of the symptoms that have been disrupting their lives. It is not a pharmaceutical. It is not a quick fix. It is a carefully formulated method of supporting your body's own hormonal intelligence, using ingredients that have decades of research behind them. I've seen what happens when women find the right support at the right time. The transformation is not just physical. It's the way they carry themselves, the way they describe feeling like themselves again. That is what's possible. And I want that for you. The link is right below. Take a look. You've already taken the first step by asking the right questions. This is the next one. Now, let's go deeper, because there's something about the nature of estrogen decline that most conversations completely overlook, and it explains why some women experience hot flashes as mild inconveniences, while others are completely derailed by them. Estrogen doesn't just decline. It fluctuates, sometimes wildly, in the years leading up to menopause, the perimenopausal window that can last anywhere from 2 to 12 years. Estrogen levels can swing dramatically from day to day, even hour to hour. This volatility is actually more disruptive to the body's temperature regulation system than a steady decline would be. It's the unpredictability that makes the hypothalamus, the part of your brain responsible for regulating body temperature, become hypersensitive. Think of it like a thermostat that's been bumped and is now triggering the heat at the slightest fluctuation in room temperature. That's what's happening in your brain during a hot flash. And here's what's fascinating. The width of that thermostat's comfort zone, what scientists call the thermoneutral zone, actually narrows significantly during hormonal transition. Women who suffer the most severe and frequent hot flashes tend to have the narrowest thermoneutral zones. And research suggests that this narrowing is not fixed. It can be influenced by stress management, by sleep quality, by specific nutritional support, by reducing the burden on the body's endocrine system, which means the severity of your hot flashes is not your destiny. It is, in significant part, a reflection of the environment inside your body. And environments can change. I also want to talk about something that almost nobody connects to hot flashes, and that is the gut, the microbiome, the trillions of microorganisms living in your digestive system that perform a staggering number of functions, including the metabolism of estrogen. There is a specific collection of gut bacteria called the estrobolome, and its job is to process and regulate estrogen levels in the body. When the gut microbiome is disrupted by antibiotics, by a poor diet, by chronic stress, the estrobolome is disrupted too, and one of the downstream effects can be increased hormonal volatility, including worsening hot flashes. This connection between the gut and hormonal health is one of the most exciting areas of current research. And it's one of the reasons why a comprehensive approach to hormonal support, one that addresses not just hormone levels directly, but also the systems that regulate and metabolize them, tends to produce much better results than a narrow, single pathway intervention. Your hormones are not the problem. They are signals your body is trying to send. The question is whether we're listening and whether we're giving the body what it needs to send those signals clearly. Now, I want to speak to you directly for a moment, not as a doctor presenting information, as someone who has sat across from thousands of women and witnessed what unaddressed hormonal imbalance costs them, not just physically, but in their relationships, their work, their sense of themselves. I've talked to women who stopped going out in the evening because they couldn't predict when a hot flash would hit. Women who turned down promotions because they didn't trust their ability to focus and perform under pressure. Women whose marriages were strained because they felt too exhausted and disconnected to be present the way they wanted to be. Women who were grieving a version of themselves they felt like they'd lost. I want to say something to those women, and maybe that woman is you. What you're experiencing is real. It is not in your head. It is not weakness. It is biology. And biology, when given the right conditions, has a remarkable capacity to recalibrate. But here is the part one needs you to hold on to. Recalibration takes time. And the earlier you begin supporting your body through this transition, rather than waiting and hoping the symptoms will resolve on their own, the more opportunity you give your system to restore its natural rhythm before the imbalance deepens. I've watched women wait. I understand the impulse. You're busy. You're managing everything else. You keep thinking it'll get better on its own. But hormonal imbalance does not typically resolve without support. And the women who wait the longest are often the ones who come to me saying, I wish I had done something sooner. I wish I had listened to my body sooner. I didn't realize how much I was losing until I started getting it back. You are still in a position to choose differently. The link below this video and in the first comment is a resource I want you to take seriously, not because I'm asking you to buy something, not because I want you to follow anyone's advice blindly, but because thousands of women who were sitting exactly where you are sitting right now, watching something like this, recognizing themselves in what they were hearing, wondering if things could actually be different. Those women clicked that link, and they took a step, and things began to change. The natural hormonal support, you'll find there works with your body's own intelligence. It addresses multiple pathways, not just estrogen, but the whole ecosystem of hormonal communication. It supports the gut, the stress response, the nutrients your body needs to produce, and regulate its own hormones. It is not a cure. No one can offer you a cure, but it is a thoughtful, evidence-informed foundation for giving your body the best possible chance to restore the balance it's been asking for. Hot flashes don't have to define the next chapter of your life. The exhaustion doesn't have to be permanent. The weight doesn't have to stay stuck. The irritability doesn't have to become your personality. The sleep deprivation doesn't have to be your new normal. These are not inevitable features of who you are becoming. They are symptoms of an imbalance that can be addressed, but only if you act, only if you decide that what you've been feeling deserves a real response, not another year of managing, not another season of pushing through, not another conversation with yourself about how you'll start taking care of yourself. When things calm down, things don't calm down on their own, but your body can, with the right support, at the right time. That time is now. Your body is still asking. It is still responding. The window is open. Don't let it close while you're waiting to feel ready. The link is right below this video. It's also in the first comment. Click it. Read what's there. Take the information seriously. Because the women who are on the other side of this, who wake up without drenching in sweat, who move through their day with energy, who feel like themselves again, they didn't get there by accident. They got there because at some point in a moment that probably felt a lot like this one, they decided to do something. You've listened this far. That tells me you know something needs to change. Trust that instinct. Click the link. Take the next step. Your body has been talking to you. It's time to answer.